many of you guys drink bottled waters? All right, plenty of you. And who here thinks that bottled water is better than tap water? All right, Ryan, why do you think that?
Because rock or tap water tastes terrible.
All right, who else? Why do you think that?
Because there's lots of companies that have chemicals that they dispose in the water in Rockford, and if you ever have anyone come over and test the quality of the water, they'll tell you that very quickly.
Interesting. Well, everyone should reduce their use of bottled water because it would help out the environment, your community, yourself, and your future. Because it really is important that you guys understand your future and the importance of bottled water affecting it. So during tennis, I always drank plenty of water because, of course, it's hot. Like a couple weeks ago, it was 98 degrees, almost 100, and I was freaking dehydrated. Less to say. And I had bottled waters, and I would always grab a new filled one when the other one emptied, instead of just filling up the other one, like normal people would do. I mean, I'm not normal, so that's what I'm assuming. And once I got an interest in the environment, in the animals and such, I learned about the effects I've been putting on the environment and everyone else who's had bottled water consumption in their life, and of course, everyone has. So every single one of you have had an effect, a negative effect on the environment. Bottled water is not safer than tap water, as some people believe. It's not as often checked or repeatedly checked as tap water. And as some companies do use bottled water, their bottled water as tap water. So technically you're just drinking the same thing. Bottled water industries know that, they're not safer than the tap water, and testing has been done of 10 brands of bottled waters, and they found 38 contaminants. These contaminants are dangerous, and these companies know that these contaminants are leaking out from their plastic of the bottled waters. And the toxins, as a 2008 article, Bottled Water from the Natural Resource Defense Council says, studies have shown that chemicals called phthalates, which are known to disrupt testosterone and other hormones, can leach into the bottled water over time. These toxins can also create reproductive issues and cancer. Can you imagine getting cancer on a hot day because you were thirsty? That's incredibly scary. When I read that, I was scared, as anybody else would. I mean, who wants to get cancer? That's the scariest thing in the world. So not only is it not as safe as tap water, it is also costly, extremely costly. Americans spend billions on tap water, or bottled water, excuse me. We pay up to 1,000 times more than tap water. Tap water is free at home. I mean, you do pay every monthly, but it's not as extreme as bottled water is. I mean, you go to the store and it's like $2. That's ridiculous. You could just go home and just drink it from the faucet or something. So as a 2011 article, The True Cost of Bottled Water from the Hydros Bottle website says, last year, which was in 2010, consumers spent $15 billion on bottled water. And like I said, most of this water comes from the tap anyway. So it's not really a difference. Also, as a 2004 article, Is Your Bottled Water Coming from a Faucet? By Phil Lempert says, it is estimated that about 25% of the bottled waters consumed in the U.S. come from municipal water supplies, which is another word for tap, of course. And some these brands are Dasani and Aquafina. And as their beautiful labels and ads, they're deceiving. They do not come from a prestigious mountain or an amazing spring filled with fancy creatures prancing around, not eating each other. That's not the reality of it. So how did Americans fall for this, you might ask? Well, I have a video.
Well, the companies found their next big idea in a silly designer product that most people laughed off as a passing yuppie fad. Water's free, people said back then. What will they sell us next? Air?
Which they do.
So how do you get people to buy this fringe product? Simple. You manufacture demand. How do you do that? Well, imagine you're in charge of a bottled water company. Since people aren't lining up to trade their hard-earned money for your unnecessary product, you make them feel scared and insecure if they don't have it. And that's exactly what the bottled water industry did. One of their first marketing tactics was to scare people about tap water with ads like Fiji's Cleveland campaign. When we're done, one top water executive said, tap water will be relegated to showers and washing dishes. Nah.
So as you can see, companies kind of got desperate and they needed more money to come to their companies other than their sodas, like Pepsi. And so of course, along with Aquafina and Dasani, it's Nestle also. That's just three of them that do it. So along with the not being safe as tap water and being extremely costly, bottled water is extremely wasteful. People don't know this, but I did my research and I was surprised. 47 million gallons of oil are used in production of these bottles. That's enough fuel to give 1 million cars to fill up for a year. That's ridiculous. Wouldn't you want to have your car filled for a year? You wouldn't have to worry about all that money you spend for college. I mean, I know I need another job because college is expensive, and I know that if I had my gas filled for a year, that'd be extremely helpful. As a 2013 updated article, bottled water costs consumers and the environment from the Food and Water Watch website says, rather than being recycled, about 75% of the empty water bottles end up on our landfills, lakes, streams, and oceans, where they may never decompose. This is extremely dangerous for animals, like my penguins and Idrisha's white tigers. They're beautiful. And it's important to understand that most of these bottles that we drink and we think that are being recycled are not being recycled. Most of them actually go to a different country like India, where those bottles just stack up in mountains, and where you would think that they'd be recycled to create new bottles of water, they're just mulched up so they could easily decompose in the ground. And so the rest that doesn't go in the mulcher thingy, cutter, I don't know what it's called, it goes in the backyards of the India's citizens, and that's incredibly sad. We don't realize what we're actually doing. As a 2011 article, The True Cost of Bottled Water from the Hydrus Bottle website says, bottled water production also consumes water itself. To produce 1 liter of bottled water, one must use up to 3 liters of tap water actually. We're creating bottled water with water to hold water. Isn't that ridiculous? And we're using tap water to use bottled water production. It's kind of ridiculous, and I don't understand why we do this in our economy. I find it extremely absurd, and it makes me mad. And it also takes about 72 billion gallons of H2O, water, to make empty bottles. We're spending water to make empty bottles. That's another ridiculous thing. So understanding the effects of bottled water in our environment and ourselves, I am hoping you would reduce your use of bottled water, because it is not as safe as tap water, it is not as expensive as tap water, and it is extremely wasteful. Maybe now you can return to my question I asked before, and rethink your actions, and start using reusable water bottles, like just ones that you buy at Walmart. They're like $1. That way you don't have to spend like $2 on a bottle of water that you're going to throw away. And for those of you who said that bottled water is better than tap water, do you think otherwise? Ryan?
Tap water tasted better, but I mean,
Actually, it kind of tastes the same. There was a study with people, they put waters and they tasted it. They thought that the tap water is better tasting than the bottled water. And that was just because, I don't know, bottles seem prettier? I don't know.
Pretty aqua filter.
bottled water is a necessity in parts of the world without a safe source of potable water. But it is an unnecessary option with countries who do have adequate water supplies. So when you take that bottled water and you're drinking it, it takes about 3 minutes or less to drink it, but it takes about 1,000 years to biodegrade. So remember that when you guys are taking a drink of bottled water. Thank you.